Wait,
you have, this is like a record for our blog thing. You have 5 movies to talk about.
For 7 weeks, dude.
So, okay, I'm going to start with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the end to a movie series 10 years in the making.
So, as a conclusion, I found it a bit more satisfying or a bit better done than the book, which is a first, because usually I say the book is a lot better. That being said, seeing how both parts were made, it didn't necessarily need to be split into 2 parts.
This is kind of funny because you were saying that weren't they originally going to do 2 parts per movie, starting with the 4th one?
Well, not 2 parts per movie, starting with the 4th one, but the 4th one was going to have 2 parts.
Okay.
Problem is, the 5th one is the longest book.
And yet the least amount of crap happens.
Yeah, it's really
because the Order of the Phoenix became pointless, absolutely pointless. Starting like a little bit into the 6th book.
All they managed to do in Order of the Phoenix is kill off Sirius and get another year done. And I think you just gotta face the fact that she didn't really have any good ideas for that other than to introduce the counter force to Voldemort. So anyway, this part is going to have quite a few spoilers, so if you have not read the book or seen the movie, well, fuck you. The book's been out for several years.
And the movie, well, that's been out for about a month.
Yeah. So basically, the part 1 was just them in a tent for the entire movie, and then...
Well, that makes sense, because the first half of the book was them in a tent for fucking ages.
The entire book.
Yeah.
So, the second part, they finally get back to Hogwarts, and they do the epic battle, and... I don't know. When he kills Voldemort, it wasn't as epic as it could be.
Is Harry still Jesus Christ? And that he dies and comes back to life.
Yes, because there's a whole explanation for it that he was an accidental Horcrux, but I don't know. It was a good movie all around. The sound effects were good. The acting was good. The music was typical Harry Potter fare.
Which that is kind of sort of typical John Williams stuff.
Yeah.
Which that in itself is awesome.
If you're a fan of the movie series, I'd go see it just because it is a good ending.
Just for completeness' sake.
Yeah, well, it's building off a good book, so it's not like it can be necessarily bad without them trying. You know, I say that, but then the Dune movie comes to mind. I'm like, yeah, that's not true. If you're a fan of the books as well, I'd see it. It's a good movie. I didn't really have anything bad to say about it except this is the last time for a while at least that we see Emma Watson. So get your fix now, fanboys. I give it 4.5 Deus Ex Machinas out of 5.
Because it's the big finale. You need to have one somewhere.
It worked. It
Somehow.
could have been a lot worse. Alright, so what do we got next on the list?
Next up on the list of movies is the latest Captain America movie.
That looked good in the previews, and it was good to watch. It was fast-paced. It was well acted, well written. the love interest scenes didn't dominate the film because, like, they'll do an action film, but then they'll have a love interest, and so they'll have to throw in a couple slow scenes for that. Once the movie picked up its pace, it kept that pace. It didn't slow down for anything, which is just fun. The sound effects were good. It felt very much like a World War II movie, but with super soldiers.
Does Captain America punch Hitler?
No.
Damn it!
They do have the cameo where he punches, of the comic, that he punches Hitler in. Which, it's just for a little bit, and you have to be looking for it. You have to know what you're looking for. But it is hilarious when you realize that's what it is. There were just so many shout-outs.
Want to go into any more detail on the movie, or just want to give a star rating?
Well, part of it is the current continuity of Captain America in the comics states that, like, all the stories from after World War II to, like, I don't know when it was, like, late 90s maybe, was a different Captain America, and the real Captain America was frozen. So the movie follows that continuity because it's Marvel, and Marvel continuity is simultaneously set in stone and a plaything. Spider-Man. See, only a real comic book nerd would know that, because they would know I was talking about the One More Day storyline. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. You will hate Joe Quesada.
Star rating?
I give it a 4.5 shield throws out of 5.
Does the shield throw actually look fucking epic?
It's actually pretty cool. It's everything you hoped it would be.
Alright, so moving on. Next up would be Cars 2.
Cars 2 is an interesting film because it's easily Pixar's worst film, but it's not necessarily a terrible film.
Because it's Pixar.
Yeah. It's a bit cliche. It focuses on Mater, which was my least favorite character from the first film. And that's kind of it. There's not really much to say about it. It's just an average movie.
So the overall score on that is meh.
Yeah. The overall score is like 3 cultural stereotypes out of 5. I don't really have much to say about it. If you like Pixar as much as I do, then go see it. But if you don't, it's one that you could miss.
One that you could easily just skip. Kind of like we just skipped over it with, like, talking about it for like a fucking minute versus the other two we were talking for like 4.
Yeah. I mean, it had its funny parts, but then it kind of had its boring parts, and then it's built off the whole misunderstanding a guy for a spy. So he goes through all the spy stuff, but he's not really a spy. He's just really lucky, and then he ends up being the hero who saves the day.
And saps the sentry.
Yeah. You're such a dick.
Next up...
Hold on.
You have one
quick.
more thing?
I had friends who went to an anime convention called Anime Iowa, because yes, it exists. There's enough
does
people
exist.
in the surrounding area to go to a convention in Iowa. But so they all went, but they were all dressed as the different classes from Team Fortress 2.
Actual fact, that actually took place in the middle of a fucking cornfield.
Yeah. Iowa. You got like... No, I don't think I've said this before, but when I first moved out to Colorado Springs, I was amazed that we could drive 15 minutes in one direction and remain in the same city.
Yeah, Des Moines ain't that big.
I think you can drive through Waukee in like, I don't know, 5 minutes. West Des Moines takes 10. Des Moines doesn't even take that.
I think if you go along the entire I-235 when there's hardly any traffic, it's like 7 minutes.
Yeah. It's crazy. So next movie?
Next movie would be Cowboys and Aliens.
I will say this. It was a lot better than the latest Indiana Jones movie.
Oh dear, that's not saying very much.
I know. It's like saying a game's better than Sonic 06.
It's like a game's better than Action 52.
It's like a game's better than Drake of the 99 Dragons.
Oh my god, reference!
That's a fucking obscure reference, too. Because not everyone watches machinima.
Only almost everyone.
It was kind of a movie of extremes. Because they were when the slow parts were there, they were slow. But the action-y parts were fun and fast-paced and just good. But then, like, the cliches were groan-inducing when they were played straight. But when they were, like, played with, they were fun. I don't know. You got Harrison Ford as a cowboy who doesn't know who he is with a weird brass wrist thing that he shoots alien saucers with. The ending was kind of blah. The acting was okay. The music was okay. The CGI was above average. In between like a Doctor Who episode and Star Wars in terms of graphics, even though Star Wars technically isn't computer generated.
And Godzilla 2000. I'm only saying that because you mentioned that in our last blog.
Yeah. Wasn't that movie made in like 98 though?
Yeah, something like that. Fuck it, we'll round it up.
Yeah. Because Godzilla 98 doesn't sound nearly as good.
Star rating for Cowboys and Aliens.
I give it 3.5 gold pieces out of 5.
Is that the best you can come up with?
Yeah, it makes sense when you've seen the movie. So see the movie!
Maybe.
Yeah.
If you're into that sort of thing.
It's not campy, but it's not a straight up action movie. Western thing.
Stuff.
Yeah.